Here we are right now, 5:23 a.m., 12/2/2011, and what is wonderful about that, it's Pacific Standard Time. We're waiting on that monthly jobs report. It's due out any minute. New York Stock Exchange is gapping up going into that report, along with some help out of Europe again. What we want to show the MMTs, this is what it is, and the number's going to be out in 6 minutes. So watch the CEO in here. That's a good one. Some of these gaps, particularly like the BHPs that have been shorted and whatnot, at those upper end of those levels, they will have pullbacks. That beaten down CF right here that has come back a couple of days right back on that gap list from their strong earnings report. Goldman Sachs, that's been marked down as getting a pop on that bull side. This is the leverage gap up, pre-market futures. How do I trade the pre-market futures going live into a number right now? And what the pre-market futures gap show right now was that the Dow was as high. It was up around there, around 160. S&P right now is at 1670 at 1260, and the futures up 1.34%. Dow futures 153 right now, plus 1.2% at 12155. Dow futures, our Nasdaq futures clocking at 30.25, up 1.31%. Gold is up 23.5 handles, plus 1.35%. And the CAC, it's up 69 handles, 2.2%. The DAC, 120 handles, 1.97%. On the DAX, the FTSE FTSE 100 up 87, 1.59%. S&P futures up 1.3%. Pre-market gap going into a monthly jobs report. And how do I trade pre-market futures category? It is a trade management. I will be happy to go over the counter, and if we go over the counter, you can take a look, and that jobs number is going to be out in 5 minutes, but you can take a look 5 minutes going into that number. You got Priceline leading the way, and you have the bull. It's strong at 2.78 here now. Google, well, at 2.36. That gap was as high as at one time you were printing up here at 619 up here. Okay, so they're fading the pre-market gap as we are 4 minutes away from the unemployment number. The reason why is that in pre-market on headline news event is that you need to learn how to square position management risk. And I say that in the most kindest way, because that is what has to be executed as far as getting long, getting short, using calls, using puts. The trade management has to be buyer-seller weighted. And where is that investment community? Right now, this is the gap open up 3 minutes prior to your jobs. I say that because jobs, I say it in a funny way. I'm just kidding, everybody, but I say it in a funny way like that because when I used to say the word jobs, I'd just say jobs and people get hired. Today, you hear that word jobs, and it's almost like, whoa, what is that? We hope that they put people back to work, for crying out loud. However, this country still hasn't done the right thing. Europe and all the injections and what the Federal Reserve is doing here behind the closed scenes that we have reported repeatedly over the calendar full year of 2011 and 10 and 2009 as well. And the live forecast is it's every day something new is always going to happen in the buy and sell script. We've been leveraging the markets up, and we're going into that number. and this is your pre-gap. Once again, we will be doing certain workshops on overbought markets within these kind of volatility gaps. We will be doing a special on the new way that volatility gaps trade. And what do I mean by that? With high frequency in the futures market is that you get trained about the futures market simultaneously along with the equity movement, along with the option pricing, and how you can diversify those various sophisticated trade management scenarios. And we will, enjoy bringing that to 2012 and giving everyone a Christmas present to get involved. And Merry Christmas to everyone. It's December 2nd. Pre-market gap before a monthly jobs report. 6 minutes into the explanation on both the NYSE we already did, and here's that NASDAQ, and here SINA beaten down. Shorts are getting squeezed on the open. Apple, another. Look at that price line. It's mean, and it rips in price action long and short as it does. But look at that bull gap. It's diminishing. It's contracted. Look at it. Look at it. See? Okay. We're within 1 minute of the number. I will pause this live event with MMTs here and now. And then right when the knee jerk happens, I will restart the video. And you will see what I'm talking about. And you will see how wide the big and ass. Look at those 570 calls paying for the long. Yeah, we are. And you should. Here we go. It's coming out.
The last time we had an unemployment rate of 8.6% was in March 2009 when it was the same number. We had 140,000 private sector jobs added to payrolls in November. We lost 20,000 government jobs. Significant revisions, plus 20,000 additional jobs added to the October number, an additional 52,000 added to the September number. So a 2-month additional job increase of 72,000 jobs from what had been previously reported. Job gains, retail trade up 50,000, professional and business services up 33,000, leisure and hospitality gaining 23,000, healthcare an additional 17,000. The biggest job losses, construction lost 12,000 jobs, and in that public sector decline, we saw 5,000 postal workers lose their jobs. The drop in the unemployment rate brings the overall employment now to in the neighborhood of 13.3 million. That's a drop of 594,000 from October. 5.7 million persons unemployed for 6 months or longer. Back to you guys.
All right, Hampton, thank you very much. Let's get to our panel right now. Diane Swank, Mark.
There you go. So there is that headline release of numbers that are on the video here. And here is your gap increase live. As that live number was coming out, you can see how the price line gap just a moment ago was just amazing. Now it's only 4.63. So there was a knee jerk in here. That's on the NASDAQ one here. Let's get over live to the NYSE gap open up. Let's look at that. Let's see what that bull is doing. WBK leading the way. BHP Hilton, the beaten down leadership stocks in here that have had that great short interest. They're going to have to buy to cover on that opening bell gap called gap ratio, pre-market gap ratio, pre-market futures gap ratio. And how do I apply the price action within the broader part of the buyer and sellers? And what is the broader part? The broader market and the sectors and the indices. Here it is. Pre-market. The jobs number are out. Non-farm payrolls, you can call it up 120,000 versus 100,000. I already have all the stats on the video here. So labor force participation rate 64.0%. Not, hey, as expected. Okay, and so that's how the market reaction was 5:33 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12/2/2011. Monthly jobs, pre-market report, trade management. How do I square in? How do I look at shorting the highs and selling them back down for a profit? And then how do I get net long? There are some good names in here. Okay? What we will be focusing on is our normal suspects that we make markets with every day. That will be that price line. And what does that chart look like? Is it ready? Is Amazon ready to break higher? What's that WYNN gap? Here's that bull gap increasing. It's increasing now. $1.50 right here. So 2.55. End of pre-market trade management Friday, 12/2. Merry Christmas to everyone. Saint Nick is working on the second day of Christmas. No, I'm just kidding. But 12/2/2001. And we wish everyone luck. MMTs, watch the price line trade. Watch how it will drop down 5 teenies off the high in price action and then get net long. And it will drop. They'll hit that high and short. Watch that price line. We featured it. We've been featuring it. That's what it looks like. 2,500 shares. Look at that bid and ask. Look at that bid and ask. $7 bid and ask. Go ahead and bid that right now. Go ahead and bid that. Contract that gap. 6.9401. Put it out there at 35 pennies and see if someone just paid a ripping 500. Look at them buy that retail print. Look at the retail print. That's what people do in the buy and sell transaction. We'll teach you how to get in over here and how to make the markets the right way. Not pay that. Have you done that before? And then it drops down $6? Bid and ask. Bid and ask. Now it's contracting. They're bringing that market up on it right here. Pre-market. That's that knee-jerk reaction. That's that headline news on that monthly unemployment report. And here you are. You're cooking. You're gaining. You're gaining. You're building momentum in the bull-side gap ratio. And how do I trade pre-market futures gap open ratios? We'll teach you. Info@stockmarketfunding.com.